Alabama beats Georgia 24-21 on the road in Athens. Heck of a performance from the Tide. Kalen DeBoer gets himself a huge win. A little bit of a must-needed win. Felt like this one needed to happen, especially after the performance against Florida State. They snapped Georgia's 33-game home win streak, which was the longest in the country up to that time. But what a performance out of the Tide. And let's talk about it. So the first thing I want to say is for Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator, and Kane Womack, defensive coordinator, all the credit in the world to all three of those guys. I thought the plan this week was very thought out, very thorough. It looked like they were prepared. I thought they put together a great scheme to both stop Georgia and to move the football. They had Ty Simpson looking comfortable. Obviously, he goes 24 for 38, 2 touchdowns, 276 yards, accounted for 3, ran for a touchdown in there as well. So all the credit in the world to that staff. Complete 180 from the Florida State game in terms of just preparation, scheme, all of that good stuff. And then the most amount of credit goes to those players. The physicality that Alabama played with in this football game, night and day different. You could tell the intensity was there. The grit was there. The discipline was there. Obviously, Bama penalized only 4 times, 16 yards. That is impressive, especially when you think about a road atmosphere, how loud Sanford Stadium can get. So all the flowers to Alabama's physicality, to their coaching. This was a type of win that the fans needed to see and that Alabama as a team needed to build off of. This was complete 180 from that Florida State football game and an entirely different football team. Now, in terms of total yardage and just really the overall how this game played out, again and again and again, we see Georgia come out with these slow starts. They just come out entirely flat. Now, this is 2 years in a row against Alabama in specific, where Georgia has come out and gotten themselves in a very quick hole. This year, at home, 14-0, right off the bat. Boom, having to play from behind. Last year, it was, 28-0 that Alabama took off ahead, 28-3. So, again, and I mentioned this in the preview leading up to this game, was Georgia has to come out, especially at home, and not start so flat, and they do exactly that. They come out slow. I did not like the offensive scheme from Mike Bobo. I thought the run game was there, but the problem that Georgia did was they didn't attack the perimeter or the edges. In the second half, when that Georgia offense, or not really the second half, I guess ultimately the second quarter, when Georgia's offense finally started to click, it felt like they were getting Dylan Bell in the perimeter, Nate Frazier in the perimeter, around the defensive ends, outside the tackles. That's where they had the most success, and it felt like they just did not consistently attack that. Now, the Alabama offensive and defensive line deserve all the credit in the world. I thought they won the battle in the trenches. They were more physical, and they controlled the line of scrimmage on either side of the football. Really, what hurts Georgia yet again is just missed opportunities. And in that third quarter, you think about when Alabama gets stopped on 4th down, right? It was third quarter, somewhere near midfield. Alabama gets stopped on 4th and 1. They tried to run some kind of design quarterback boot with Ty Simpson, and it looked like there was just miscommunication. It's 24-21 at this point. Georgia gets the turnover on downs. You're thinking, here it comes, right? This is where Kirby Smart's teams historically start to turn it around and they pull away. We saw it in the Tennessee game where they had some big plays. They come back, they win that football game. Taylon Taylor, obviously, we know the story of last year with drops for the receiving core in general, not just Taylon Taylor. He wasn't, I believe he's a freshman this year, so not him individually, but just as a team last year, they have that huge third down play, or not third down, they get that turnover on downs. They have a massive momentum swing opportunity, and wide open Taylon Taylor and another drop, which would have been a walk-in touchdown. That just completely deflates a team. And then you think about the very next possession. Georgia has the ball at midfield, great field position. They drive this thing down the field. 4th and 1, Cash Jones has a chance to get around the edge. Bama gets great penetration. They get the turnover on downs. They stop Georgia yet again. They put Georgia on a goose egg in the 4th quarter. Just impressive. Now, that Georgia defense started to barrow down. They hold Alabama scoreless in the second half. But it's the Alabama defense and Georgia's inability to capitalize on huge moments in this football game. And that's the story. When you have to play from behind, when you get yourself stuck in a position where you start so flat and you're trying to catch up all game long, that may work against Tennessee. That may work against some other teams, but against Bama 2 years in a row, it just has not worked. You have to come out hotter. So that's all I got, friends. Heck of a football game. Instant classic for me. I loved that second half. I loved the physicality. I understand there was only 7 points in the entire second half, but You could feel the nerves. You could feel the passion. I loved how DeBoer looked on the sideline. It felt like he was a lot more emotional, a lot more charged up and involved this week. Bama gets themselves, again, a much-needed win. And for Kirby Smart and the Dogs, man, it's all about how you start. They have to come out of the gates better. They have to grow from this football game, and it's a tough sled for both of these teams ahead. Bama's got Vandy next. And honestly, man, that Vandy game probably should scare you more than the Georgia game. So we'll wait till we get to that one. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.